Today, and it's just an honor to get to be with you. I this morning as I was getting ready for practice, I was thinking about how it's non-serious Saturday. There's no need for any of us to be too serious. We just enjoy our morning together in fun and just releasing, relaxing. And I'd like for you to just sort of bounce around a little to release and relax any tension from your body. You can sigh as you move and just kind of, you might even flick your hands. You might shake out your hands. I love doing that energetically. It just makes me feel like I'm releasing, almost like releasing static electricity. We can just bop around and as you do, you might even envision tension just falling, the crown of your head falling downward from your face and your ears, neck, your shoulders. It just falls, wafts off your collarbone, from your chest and your back. Your abdomen falls off from your pelvis, your hips, from your arms, from your shoulders, all the way down to your fingertips. It falls all the way down your legs and off of your feet and your toes. And now you are a little lighter. Come to stillness into a Wu Qi posture, a Qigong stance. And in a Wu Qi posture, the feet are about shoulder width distance. You have a softness in your knees and in your hips, softness in your arms. Your shoulders are stacked over your hips, and your ears are stacked over your shoulders. It's this idea of being elongated, finding some softness within your structure. And take a deep breath in and let it go. I'm going to turn the palms to face out and we'll bring down the heavens, reaching up and drawing down, calming the mind. And something that I really love about five element theory, and the reason it's a methodology that I quite enjoy. First of all, what is five element theory? Well, it is the further breaking down of yin and yang. When you think of yin and yang, kind of that yin yang symbol that you see sometimes, where you have the darker half circle and the lighter half circle. The lighter one has a little darker color in it, and the darker one has a little lighter color in it. And it's this continual change. And that's the world we live in. It's a world of yin and yang, a world of continual change. Nothing stays the same. Everything is always evolving, it's moving. And that's why it's important to notice when we are holding on to things that we're ready to let go of. And we can tell sometimes when it's something we're ready to let go of because there's maybe a little angst around it. Maybe it's especially coming into the holidays, we have a lot of traditions that people hold very near and dear to their hearts. But if you start to feel like there's some unease around it or some stagnancy, maybe even finding little ways to change things can be helpful, can kind of help you to process and remove the pressure from um, that desire to keep things the same. We are constantly evolving. And this movement is very yin in nature. We're drawing inwards, we're drawing downwards, kind of allowing energy down towards the bottoms of our feet, towards the earth. This is a wonderful movement for calming the mind. You might even sort of notice that you feel a little more relaxed when you do this. And last week in our chi directional exercises, this was our inward movement. And adjust my little camera a little bit. So. And next, we're going to find an upward movement. Let your palms face up. So this one's more yang in nature. We're coming up and out as we part the clouds. Yang is outward, it's more expressive, warming, the sunny side of the mountain. Yin is inward, it's kind of cooling, it's the shady side of the mountain. The feminine is considered more yin, receptive, nurturing, and nourishing. And so you can see how we live in a society that's very yang, kind of overly yang, very patriarchal in nature, very kind of this emphasis on accomplishment and doing and moving forward and kind of holding on to the old ways. I think that has more of a force feeling to it, whereas yin is a bit more receptive to change. And I think that's why we're starting to kind of accept the yin qualities a little bit more, a sense of resting and restoration, of gestation. But it's nice to have a balance. There's no need to vilify either. There's nothing wrong with either. Just like there's nothing wrong with your sympathetic nervous response, which is going to be more yang in nature, fight or flight response, our need to act, to go do stuff, to feel compelled to move. And then our yin, more parasympathetic response, that's this rest and relax and digest, soften. We just want to find that balance. And so you kind of bring to mind that yin yang symbol that I'm sure we're all pretty familiar with it. We've seen it before. We have those two kind of ways that that dynamic relationship. And the 5 elements branch out from there. The 5 elements are a further division of yin and yang that really embraces the seasons, the macrocosmic seasons. Now shake out your hands and shake out your feet. We're going to bring the hands to the dantian. Let your awareness sink into the space underneath of your palms and the space beneath your feet, and just breathe naturally. There's no need to force. The earth element is kind of it's the center of the yin and yang. It's sort of where yin and yang join together. In our brain, it's the corpus callosum. We can think of the left hemisphere of the brain, which is very analytical, as more yang, and the right hemisphere of the brain, which is more abstract, as yin. So we can kind of see how we need to have a relationship between those two. And the earth element, the present moment awareness, feeling centered in the present moment, allows us to act from a place of balance, of equanimity, of response rather than reaction. So as you breathe, you can even visualize your breath drawing down towards your dantian, letting your shoulders soften as you breathe, and kind of noticing areas where your breath might feel a little sticky. Noticing, being present. The breath is a bridge to the present moment. You'll always have another inhale or exhale to think about. Let's gather tea. I love gathering tea. So this is a really wonderful earth element movement, drawing inward. And so the earth has that yin capacity of allowing us to draw inward. It's the present moment. It is a place that we find ourselves as we transition from one season to the next. So seasonally, it's considered like a week or two between autumn and winter, a week or two between winter and spring, the week or two between spring and summer. And then at the end of summer, it's more like 3 weeks. It's a little longer at the end of summer, which of course we're past that. So that's how it expresses itself seasonally. And then within our own experience, it's our ability to connect with the present moment, to feel content, to feel patient, and nurturing those characteristics, nurturing the positive characteristics, the parts of our personality that we find to be helpful in dealing a little more responsively with the variables in our daily life. When out of balance, earth is pensive, it worries a lot. We might have stomach issues. We can have a hard time digesting food. Also, we tend to go for sweet stuff. And that's the same, kind of talking about alcohol before we started. Alcohol, it's sugar. There's a lot of sugars involved, and we have a lot of sugar. I had seen an interesting meme that said, we go from candy season, from the candy holiday to the pie holiday to the cookie holiday to the alcohol holiday. Instead of calling it flu season, we should call it sugar poisoning season. I'm like, yeah, I can see that. Oh, put your hand to rest on your dantian. And again, there's no judgment. That's something that is important to remember. There's no need to judge ourselves. There's It's just observation and evolution and releasing unhelpful patterns and being kind to ourselves. We're gonna kind of smooth things out, or cloud walk to wring out the ankles, smoothing things out. So the yin and yang divided, we have the earth element, kind of that space between yin and yang, and our present moment awareness, and feeling comfortable, feeling safe. Well, let's talk about the season that we're currently in the season of autumn, of fall, the metal elements. You're gonna turn in one direction, reach your arms out, and then it's like you're drawing a bow. Your front arm comes across, and you're drawing a bow, opening up, and then lower the arms. And we're gonna do that on each side, just continuing to alternate. Lifting your arms up, getting sort of this stretch, and embracing lightning. Metal is think of it as the right brain, the more abstract way of thinking. It's our dream time. It's how we feel. Connecting with our feelings. And metal cuts wood. Wood, when we get to it, is the rational mind. It's kind of like when we have too much overgrowth in our garden and we have to cut some of it away, and it's kind of cutting away what doesn't serve us. So metal is it also includes the lungs and the large intestine, the skin. Our skin is an organ of illumination as well, so it's the ability to let go, to release, and to let go. It's a cooling phase of yin and yang. The cooling phase, making our way towards the season of winter, towards the solstice, and within our own emotional experience, it's our ability to release grief and disappointment for the things that didn't turn out the way that we want. And also to let go of the ephemeral. Nothing lasts forever. To embrace that constant change that occurs, and the constant series of life and death, of birth and death, of creation and destruction. These are cycles that just happen, and we have to come to terms with those. And when we don't, we struggle more with respiratory ailments also. In Chinese medicine, that's one of the thoughts behind that. And this can happen on a larger level as well. Just think of all the respiratory issues that we've encountered as a humanity over the past few years. And it's this, trying to let go, trying to process change, and it's so difficult. It's very hard to do. And so we have to come from a place of safety. If we don't feel safe, that's very difficult. Can't quiet our minds. We don't feel like we're in the present moment. We're constantly worried about the future, or spending time regretting things from the past. And here we're embracing lightning. We're drawing this sort of beautiful white light through your fingertips, and it crosses across your arms and through your chest into your heart and your lungs, and sort of clears them out, clearing out stored grief, stored disappointment. The cooling phase, it's a time of, I like to call it drawing inward, where we need more rest. We need to sleep. Metal is our time of sleeping, resting, dream time. Let your arms come down. We're actually gonna shake things out, and then we're gonna make some big circles with the arms. And we're gonna go both directions. It doesn't matter which direction you start. Young girl rose through clouds. And I'd like for you to let your elbows bend. See if you can find a softness through your spine. As you breathe and sort of open your lungs and encourage that flow of energy. Go the other direction. Young girl rose through clouds. What a beautiful imagery. Envision yourself as this and girl rowing through this magical landscape of clouds. And that is metal. Abstraction, visualization that doesn't necessarily have language. Let your arms come back down, and we're going to take the fingertips and tap under the collarbones. This is another very healing movement for the metal element, for the lungs. We're going to practice Brahmari, and that's bee breath. And so as you're tapping on your lungs, inhaling through your nose, and then as you exhale, hum a long exhale. The length of the exhale, it should be nice and long. That's something that stimulates our parasympathetic nervous response. So you inhale through your nose, and as you exhale, you're humming very nasally. It goes into your ears and your sinuses. It goes into your chest. You're going to do this a few times. And let it go. Let your hands just rest on your lungs, sort of rest there. And of course, your lungs are much larger towards the back of your body. So maybe even envision breathing into the backs of your lungs, letting go. Processing. That's the cooling phase. So that metal element is more yin in nature. It's kind of like the semicircle that's moving downwards, sinking down towards that cooler time of the water element. We're going to take our hands and we're going to take this area. It's called the tiger's mouth, where the first finger meets the thumb. And we're going to hit the kidney area. So you're kind of, if you can, you're just taking your hands up however you can, and going up and down. And the kidneys are one of the water element organs, the water element being ultimate, we could call it extreme yin, the time of the solstice, the winter solstice. So seasonally, it's a time of rest. It's a time of rest, and our kidneys require that rest in order to function appropriately. Now bring your hands to your dantian. There is a color associated with every element, with each element. And for water, it's like a blue-black. I think of it as like an elixir. And as you rest your hands on your dantian, you might envision this healing elixir coming through the palms of your hands, kind of nourishing your dantian, coming up to your kidneys, and water, our ancestry, our DNA, our inheritance from our parents and their parents and their parents. So we bring with it also generational trauma. And I think a lot of our purpose as we practice is to really heal some of that as well. And to also heal what we've put out into the future. I mean, I have I'm a grandmother, we all put things out into the future, and so we're healing ourselves and working with this inner alchemy and allowing ourselves to evolve and to change, to assist our children, our grandchildren, and even humanity that's not related to us. Even if we don't have children, this humanity is continuing on, and we want to encourage the health and well-being of future generations, and we can do that through caring for ourselves as well, and for the past generations. We can do that too. It's beautiful. I'd like to push waves, turning one direction, so making yourself into this little bow stance and making sure your spine feels nice and tall. Finding a softness. We'll bring the hands up in front of your chest and then pushing waves, sort of pushing out and coming back in. And water touches everything. We are all made from the stuff of stars and recycled water. And boy, isn't that something? Water can present itself as fear, and fear, we can think of the adrenal glands being stimulated when we get a fright. The adrenal glands resting atop the kidneys. So being able to kind of calm the kidneys to rest more, to restore ourselves with nice warm soups and teas as the colder weather sets in, to nourish our kidneys. And the kidneys like salty things. So if we go for a lot of extra salty stuff, the water element, salty is the flavor associated with it. Maybe that's an imbalance in our water element. Maybe we aren't resting enough. Maybe we need to rest more. Maybe we just have, maybe we just need more salt. You just, it's always very dynamic. Something I love about traditional Chinese medicine when I learned about it at Chatham in a class, it was just a very basic class, was that the diagnosis is never, there's no solid diagnosis. It's always changing. In our Western culture, we say, oh, I have high blood pressure, I have diabetes, I have a heart condition. But in Chinese medicine, you might have stagnant liver qi, or there might be some dispersed spleen qi, or rising, yang, overly yang this, or you don't have enough, an excess or a deficiency of yin, deficiency of yang, and so they prescribe different herbs and acupuncture, acupressure, maybe even qigong exercises to encourage the body to return to balance. It's fascinating stuff that you can learn about a lot and spend a lot of time playing with. So water, gestation, relaxation, season of winter. Bringing your hands back to your dantian. Let's come to center and to the other side to find a bow stance. And again, push wave. Letting your hands come back to your dantian, making your way to the center, letting your shoulders relax and being here, breathing, coming back to center, back to the present moment, letting your awareness come to your breath, the bottoms of your feet. Metal was the cooling phase, kind of yin rising, and winter water, ultimate extreme yin. Earth is the center points and transitions between each season. And then springtime is wood. It's a time of growth, of planting the seed that was released in the fall, released in that season of metal that was nurtured, gestated over the winter, and then is planted and germinates in the spring. Bring your hands to your hips, and we're gonna push hands, so pushing and pulling back in. The wood element, the liver and the gallbladder, even if you don't have a physical gallbladder, you still have an energetic gallbladder. It's yang rising, the rising yang. It's kind of that moving upward towards the summer solstice seasonally, and within ourselves, it's our ability to think and plan, to project ourselves into the future. It's our language. We highly value language in our culture, and I think I heard a long time ago a philosopher, Derrida, the statement, whoever controls the language controls the culture, and that's because we're just super young. And he was a philosopher, Jacques Derrida, so he's a French philosopher, so Western thinking back in the, I don't know, late 1800s, early 1900s maybe. This is our ability to not just project ourselves into the future. Again, we don't need to vilify it at all. It's our ability to be flexible as we move forward. Wood can be rigid. Wood, the season of springtime, there can be rigidity, and that's when we need to use our abstract abilities, our metal, to kind of cut a little bit of wood out of the way to help us be more flexible and open. It's the liver and the gallbladder, which the liver can hold anger. And in our culture, again, especially when it comes to, we eat a lot of food that has a lot of chemicals in it that our liver has to filter. I don't even know what's in the water. I mean, I drink regular tap water, and when we take medications that our liver has to deal with, we have alcohol. We talked about that again. It's just something that our liver deal with, and it's our culture. It's where we are, what we experience, and so we can have quite an imbalance. There's a lot of frustration, a lot of anger, rigidity, but also there's kindness in wood, kindness and generosity, and moving in the direction of our purpose. So that's why we get kind of, I don't know, addicted to it on some level, because it's fun like that. We're moving in the direction of our purpose. Yay! And come back with your hands, and we're gonna hold the baby dragon. We're gonna rock the baby dragon. And this baby, beautiful bouncing baby dragon in your arms, and you're rocking the baby dragon. You're giving yourself a massage on your liver and also on your stomach, so you're sort of balancing the earth element and the wood element. So your ability to be present and feel safe and not worry so much, with your ability to be flexible and kind and generous. Oh. There are animals associated with each element as well, and I think probably in the coming week we'll do some animal stuff. I just love an animal Qigong practice. But right now you're rocking baby dragon. And it makes you smile to think about this baby dragon in your arms. It's non-serious Saturday. Now here's a sound we can. That's a healing sound for the liver, healing sound for wood. We can our baby dragon. As you exhale, you might find a. There's a baby dragon sleeping. You can just put your baby dragon down. Let's smooth things out. Shift your weight from one side to the other. And you're breathing, reconnecting with the bottoms of your feet. Reconnect with earth for a moment. Let your hands rest on your dantian. Again, that's a grounding gesture, bringing your awareness to your breath and to the bottoms of your feet. Finding a smile. A deep breath and let it go. So we've had Earth, this center point, kind of our transition between not just seasons, but experiences that we have on a regular basis. We do not necessarily only let go in the fall and only rest in the winter and only grow in the spring, obviously. But we are affected by the seasons. And so as it becomes darker, as we come into more of the season of water, we do crave more salt oftentimes. We crave more rest, and we need to allow ourselves to gestate our creativity a little bit more. And in the spring, we feel more energy. You can feel the yang rising. You just have maybe a little more pep in your step. And then now we're coming to the season of fire, of the fire element, which is summertime. It's the fruits and flowers. It's maturation. And we have a huge emphasis on that in our culture. It's that reproduction. If we're like babies in spring, we're like the height of our adults, fertile time in the summer. And so we value that a lot in our culture because it's a yang culture, and we are, this is ultimate yang, extreme yang. Nothing wrong with it. It just needs to be balanced with the other stuff. And it's our heart and our small intestine. It's our connection with spirit. And bring your hands in front of your dantian facing up. We're going to come up to the heart, and then coming out, we're going to say ha. So it's like the song of the heart coming from the dantian, from a place of stability. Ha. 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 Song of your heart. One more time. Ha. Beautiful. Move your wrists and ankles, and bring your palms to face each other in front of your heart. Our heart is our connection with spirit, our connection with joy, with our purpose. kidney. Water element is our instinct, and fire is our intuition, our inspiration. Open and close in front of the heart. So just gently expanding, relaxing tension from around your heart. Breathing into your heart. The fruits and the flowers. The color is like a golden red. And we didn't talk about all of the characteristics in each element as we've gone through this practice. There's so many of them. And I'm going to make a little worksheet. I think I'll send it to everyone too. On purpose, joy, but sometimes hastiness, the feeling rushed. That can be an imbalance in our fire when we feel rushed. I'm going to let one hand be on top, the other on the bottom. And we're going to extend like there's wings, and you're looking over your fingers, coming back to your heart, rolling the ball. And now the other side, kind of looking at the other fingertips, and then come back, roll the ball. So there's a lot of parts to this one. So just play with it. Again, we don't have to take ourselves too seriously. We're just wanting to feel into these different energies, this kind of division of yin and yang that is a methodology for us to utilize to encourage a sense of balance. You can use them with other methodologies, other practices you have. Very integrative. Practices evolve. Freeing that red bird from your heart, just allowing it to fly, following its direction. And we can do that regardless of the seasons, connecting with our heart. One more time. And bringing your hands back to your dantian, breathing, coming back to earth, as it were, back to that kind of center place. And just as wood and metal balance each other out, kind of, we can think of wood as the left hemisphere of the brain, as the rational, as the growth, and we can think of metal as the right hemisphere of the brain, as the irrational, the abstract, as kind of cutting as well. They balance each other out. Earth is in the middle. And then we also have the water element and the fire element. So they balance each other as well. And these are two different axes of balancing, as well as the cooling phase and the warming phase, and a continual cycle. And so here you are. You are a microcosm of the macro. You embody all of these elements within yourself, and to work with them, bring yourself back to that present moment. Allow your nervous system to settle, let your mind relax, and allow yourself to feel. Validate your feelings with fire, and then let yourself rest, water. And that's sort of one way to use this methodology. I have a teacher, and his answer is always resting. That's his answer. Just rest. You need to sleep more. You need to rest. And we can smile because, hey, we live in the world. We can't always rest. Let's cloud walk, shifting your weight from one side to the other. Bringing yourself back to center. Let's bring down the heavens a few times, reaching up and drawing down. Gathering everything that is helpful and useful, absorbing it, digesting, and releasing anything that you just don't need. And letting your hands come down, bring one hand to your dantian and a hand to your heart. And feel your heartbeat and your breath. And the gentle pressure of your hands. And smile into the palms of your hands. Let that smile radiate into your body as your breath extends from the inside out. So you're massaging yourself, offering yourself love and a smile from the outside in and the inside out. And smile into the bottoms of your feet. Smile into the earth, and the earth smiles back to you. Offer yourself kindness and compassion, peace and love. And remember that this inner alchemy, it continues to work. We continue to change without having to do anything. It happens. When we practice, we do work on our functionality, and the process sometimes does become expedited as well. So just being gentle with yourself and resting. Step your feet together. I'm going to do this greeting. I do love it. The right hand is a fist, the left hand, fingers together, friendship. The right hand is strength, friendship, thumbs drawn inward, humility. And together it is respect. So offering you this sign of respect for your practice. And I thank you so much for taking the time on a Saturday morning to come to practice your